Hello, in this video I'll show you how you can use cloth proxies to simulate cloth in an easier way. So let's say that we make a cargo net. So this is an object used on airplanes, for example, and trucks and other situations to hold cargo. So what I would do is start with, let's say, a plane and turbo smooth. And then at a poly, I would just select all of the edges and chamfer. Pretty much get this. And then I will just go into border, select the border and delete that. Actually, let's go ahead and hold Control and convert to vertex and delete. There we go. And so first I will create some vertical nets. So I also will just extrude this. And then I will select this edge and then dot loop and then ring and then hold Control and then click here to convert to polygon, and then I will, let's say, detach this as clone, and then I will create some horizontal ones as well using the same techniques like this, dot loop, ring, and then hold Control and click to go into polygon, and then also detach as clone, and I can delete this object. So now we have this, and so I'm going to select both of them and apply shell. And I will select this, also apply shell, and move this up. So here is our cargo net, and I will convert to editable poly. So I will move this up, and then let's create a sphere to simulate this over. Just a very basic example. So what I would do is select both of these objects, and actually I can even attach them. And actually before we apply cloth, we need to add some more loops here so that it can properly fold. So I would just select all of these edges. And also all of these right here. And just in case, I will ring and then connect, and let's insert, let's say 7, and now I can apply cloth and activate self collision, increase subsample for higher quality, and object properties, add objects and add the sphere. And so for the sphere I will make it a collision object, and for object 05 I'll make this the cloth. And for the preset, I'll just choose, let's say, heavy leather or generic heavy, and OK. And so let's simulate and see how long it takes. And so it's been over 30 seconds, but as you can see, the net is starting to fall apart. And one thing about cloth is that it really doesn't like it when you have vertices too close together. It's going to start to have this kind of unpredictable, erratic behavior. And as you can see, it's pretty much completely fallen apart here. Plus, we have to worry about things like volume as well, because we have some volume with these nets. So as you can see, it completely falls apart. So let's try a different approach. I will delete cloth. And I will just delete it off the sphere as well. And this time, let's create a cloth proxy, which in this case would just be another plane. And this will be the object that will actually be simulated. So I'll do so in the top viewport. And I will move this. And be sure to give this subdivisions. All right. So this is my actual cloth object, and I'm going to select this, and I can do this before or after. Let's do it after. We can do it before as well, applying skin wrap. But what I would do is apply cloth on this object, make the sphere the collision object, make the plane the cloth object. Let's do generic heavy. Okay, and then I can simulate. As you can see, that's been less than 10 seconds. So number one, this technique works a lot faster because we're dealing with a much simpler mesh here. So now what I would do is go back to frame 0, select the net and skin wrap, scroll down, weight all points, and for deformation engine, it may be better to switch this to face deformation, and then add the cloth object. Be sure to give your objects more descriptive names so it'll be easier to select them. You can double check. And so now we have this cargo net following the mesh with much more accurate results. And so now what you can do is select this and either hide it or simply right click Object Properties and turn off the renderable. You can also do that in the Layer Explorer. Maybe put all of your simulation objects in a different layer and just turn it off at render time. And then you will have your net working fine. And it's not going to come apart or do anything else. And you notice we have these kinds of strange holes and shapes here. So you can easily fix this by just going underneath the skin wrap and crease set. And since we have very basic shapes, I can just use the default numbers here to select all of the 9-degree edges and just create set. And let's just say 0.22. And then I can just apply Open Subdiv on top of skin wrap. And you notice how all those problems are pretty much fixed. So this is before and this is after. You can also beforehand insert some loops through here or just apply Open Subdiv. And so what we can do is have, let's say, 0 in the viewport and 3 at render time. And this is a much better way of simulating some complex geometry. It's just having a simpler cloth proxy. Thank you for watching and take care.